Afternoon, boys and girls. Well, today's something a bit different. I'm fishing in Lake Lothing today. Never fished here before, but I heard there was one or two bass coming out, so I thought I'd give it a go. It ain't very wide, it's only about 80-90 metres wide, and probably nipped to about 40 metres wide over that corner there. I just thought I'd give it a go. They're getting a few bass, but at the minute that's a couple of hours from low water, and then that'll start flooding. I don't know if that fish better on the flood or the ebb. I'll just give it a go. Time will tell. Well, at the minute, bait wise, I've got some herring and some squid. Need to treat myself to a new chopping board. It's getting a bit worse for wear. But I have got some salted prawns in my box. I might get one of them out later. But we'll give it a go. It's lovely. I didn't think about going up the pier, but there's a lot of wind, and obviously you can't have a beach buddy or a brolly up on the pier very easily, so I thought I'll nip down here and I can fish at the back of the van. But lovely. Never fished at the back of the van before, sea fishing. That's ideal really, so let's see if we get anything. Well, the trace on one rod is just the old trusty 2-hook flapper with two 2-0 hooks on it. Nothing special there. And the old breakaway lead, but I ain't bothered putting the grip wires up because in here there's hardly any ties, so I just leave them down. And I get this baited up and get it out. And on the other rod is a single clip down paternoster with a pennel on the end, but instead of my usual 4-0 hooks, I've scaled down to 2-0. Well, this has been out here a little while and the bait's been stripped. I suspect there's loads of crab activity in here, so that's why I got one rod with a flapper on and then this with a pennel, so I can put plenty of elastic around it. That seems to be lasting a hell of a lot longer. The elastic is stopping the crabs from eating the bait so quick, so hopefully a nice shiny bass will find it a bit quicker. Well, I'll get this baited up and get this back out. Well, I feel like the bottom is thick old mud here, so obviously when you cast out you sink your lead deep in the mud. I don't want to be pulling some of the hooks a bit too close to it, so I always cast out and then just drag it back a foot or two, so definitely bring everything. Well, I just got the tub of salted prawns out of my box. There's only a few left now, but God, look at them now. God, they've gone lovely and tough. They won't be coming out very easy, or coming off the hook very easily. They really have toughened up lovely. I have tipped the water out a couple of times, but they do look smashing. I'm going to bait one of them up on the top hook, see if that do any good. Well, after you put them in salt and draw out all the moisture, they are tougher than a bit of squid. That's a lovely presentation on the hook, innit? What self-resistant bass wouldn't eat that? Must be mad. There's a lot worse places to fish in the wind. It's quite comfy sitting in the back of the van, getting a few fish. Well, should I say it'd be nice to see a few fish, but there's no dirty old sand, and sitting there out of the wind, back of the van, flask on the go. Can't ask for any more than that, can you? It's quite nice down here, but I suspect it's a little bit early. Might be one or two bass about, but fishing on the beach at the minute have been not very enjoyable and comfy, so thought I might as well come down here. Well, there definitely seemed to be more crab activity than the fish. That's been whittled down. That wasn't a huge bait, but it was a lot bigger than that, but there's definitely a few crabs there munching away. Bound to be in something like this, innit? That's shallow and that warm up quick, and the crabs get moving about early when they're doing the sea. There's plenty in there moving about, so we'll get that baited up and back out again. Well, that's one thing I've noticed. Even on the beaches it's the same. The crabs don't touch prawns, but fish baits, they're gone in no time. But I've had plenty of codling on prawns over the years, but the crabs seem to definitely prefer the fish baits. Obviously it must give off a lot more smell, but it don't really touch the prawns, and they do the fish baits, so at least I've got some baits still on the hook. That's probably a good way of getting past the crabs, really.
Stop now.
Well, that's something you don't see very often. Hailing near the end of April. See hailstones on the box. Bit different. That's the only thing I caught today is hail, so I ain't caught no fish. Desperate times. Well, I ain't seen a fish. I ain't seen a bite either. But that's now about low water, I should think. These pipes and stuff in front of me, they were underwater when I first got here, but I think that's roughly about low water now. Maybe things might change on the flood, but it's not looking very good. I ain't had a bite, and obviously the crabs are eating the bait. Unless there's a prawn, they ain't touched that, but there ain't been many fish here. That's been very quiet. But it's nice to come somewhere different. I looked under a load of these stones and rocks down here, trying to see if there's any peelers yet, but there weren't nothing. All there was a few winkles in there. There weren't nothing else. Well, even the prawn was eating that time. Little tiny remnants of prawn and a little bit of herring and squid. There's no squid left, just the herring. So there's obviously crabs are feeding hard. Well, I'll get this rebaited up and get it out for another go. Need to get a fish, I can't blank. Well, that's absolutely peeing it down with rain now and hail. See on my box there? That's so bad I've had to close the door on my van. Bloody peeing it down. But as you can see from that pipe there, the tide is turning and starting to flood. That's raised up about 6 inches in the last 10 minutes because the left hand side of the pipe was completely out of water now, started to cover up. So hopefully there might be a few fish on the flood because there's been nothing on the ebb. Fish a couple of hours of the ebb, 2 or 3 hours of the ebb, and there's been nothing. So I'm really hoping there'll be a fish or two on the flood. There's a gentleman fishing next to me, and he's had one bite, and that's been about it. It's been very quiet, really. Or I maybe ain't got the best bait. I'm sure rag would be the ideal bait in here, but he's using rag, and worms, so I ain't eaten nothing yet. So is it just the bass in here at the moment? Who knows? But you got to be in it to win it. It's been lovely and comfy, and sitting fishing at the back of the van, and I'm sure it's been a lot better than sitting on the beach in the swell today. It's been rough as old badgers. It's nice to come to a new venue. I do like somewhere a bit different. Well, the bloke fishing next to me, we're having a good yarn to today. He's now packed up and left me a few rag to have a go with. There's a few left there, so I'll stuck one of them on and see how that go. Obviously, I put rag on the top and squid on the bottom. And you can see the tides come up well, so hopefully there'll be a few fish on the flood. Because there weren't a damn sight on the ebb. I've got to say, I think I've got a bit more faith here on the flood, and now I've got a few rag. They've got to be the bait in here, haven't they? Because they're in the bottom, so we'll give this a go. Well, I finally caught something, not exactly what I wanted. But you can still see it's got mouth and a bit of elastic in his mouth. So I'll pull that bit of elastic out and I'll chuck him back in the water. Greedy little piglet. I think that's what I've suffered a lot from today. Lots and lots of crabs. Well, now I've got on the two-hook flapper, I've got a bit of rag on the top and a bit of squid on the bottom, and then the pennel I've got a bit of squid and a bit of rag on there. I think rag has got to be the kiddie bait, and thanks very much to the lovely bloke who's fishing next to me. Give me a few. That was very kind of him, and hopefully we might be able to be nice to winkle one fish out before we pack up. I ain't gonna be here that much longer, but there's no point in me leaving now, because if I hit the traffic in Lowestoft and hit the traffic in Yarmouth, that'll take me forever. I might as well sit here and have another coffee, mightn't I? But we come back home, you see, look now, all the pipe and all the stones and stuff are all starting to cover up. I did have a look under a few of them to see if there's any peelers there, but there weren't nothing. But I think I might be a little bit too early to get a majority of peelers yet. But we'll give it a go. Fingers crossed. That's coming to the last, well, the final hour really, whether we'll get anything or not. I hope so. I like to winkle one out. Not just for me, but for you guys too. It's awful watching a programme and they blank. Like like I did on my video the other day, blankety blank. That's painful, isn't it? Well, that's turned out lovely now. The wind's dropped. Nice, a tiny bit of a breeze on the water, but not much. It's like fishing the Broads. You see the tides come up a lot. Most of that, the pipe's covered, and most of that brickwork is all covered now. And it's actually smashing, and there's no rain. I've peed it down a few times, but I'm just hoping for a fish. It's getting the last chance loon now, but I would like to get one. I think I've got a bit more faith for that flood here, but that's running a bit late now. I won't be here too much longer. Well, I think I'm now going to call it an evening. It's now 6:30. There's been an hour or so of flood, tide, and it ain't been a sausage. That's been a fairly enjoyable trip. That's now a new venue I can add to come to. Alright, I think it's a little bit early now. That'll fish better in the summer as the water warm up and the crabs start peeling. That pull a few more fish in, sort of thing. But it's fairly enjoyable and easy, especially when there's poor weather on the beaches and that knock the hell out of you. I can sit here in the back of my van, over the water, easy peasy. But rain, doesn't matter. That really is easy fishing here. And with that, thanks for watching. Shame we didn't get anything, but there you go. You've got to be in it to win it. But just a quick one last look around. It seems strange, just fishing short everywhere. And that's it. And there are pictures of the old buildings where used to be shipbuilders years ago. There's been a lot of big ships and yachts come out of them, and the big old slipways, and unfortunately not a lot being done now. It's a shame. All the industry is gone in Lowestoft. Well, that's it. I'm now going to reel in. Catch you all later. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.